lo mafela dijong ba tshwana ba rata o kenya menwana dilong don't worry ntho tse ba di etsa ka bomo no ditlo ke malong suckers ba go bona matlong never see them come
Showcase Mzansi Africa. We are here at Bakang Farm, run by Motlapele Morole. You guys know him as Mo Molemi. He used to be a rapper back in the day, and he took a 180 turn back to working his father's land. My name is Bakang Farm. You guys know me as Scoop Makhathini. We are here to basically talk about land reform, working of the land, and profitability of the land. You guys got a lot to learn from this. This is views from the bottom up.
They have something to say. Conspiracy all over Molimi le Pempara. Omobetsa young one over Sena Demkara. Kashela Bohipi Hamuti le Shonkada. Gamiti Bos Hasele ya good.
So, I mean, Mo, with what's happening right now, politically,
yeah.
you've got certain people,
yeah.
Even the public
yeah.
feels like they should be given the land back.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the strategy that
yeah.
we are employing right now, or we are forced to believe in this strategy of, yo, let's get the land back? Can you
yeah.
talk about the pros and cons of the land?
Yes.
Getting that land and working that land.
Well, the issue of land, we don't have to go far to actually have a reference, because just north of us here in Zimbabwe, we've had an issue of land, where land has been redistributed to indigenous people, and the whole exercise has failed. But there are many arguments to that. You know, some of us believe it's because of the sanctions that it has failed, not because Zimbabweans can't farm. Come to South Africa, I think, because I know there is a lot of land that's already in black hands in the former homelands and under chieftaincies, that is so underutilized that I do not think taking more land is advisable at this stage. If we have not mastered to work the land that is in our hands right now, then there's no point taking new lands. In my experience, I've seen a lot of farms that have been redistributed or been given back to communities or individual cooperatives or farmers that has collapsed, not because people could not work, but because the system is not put together properly in terms of the support system, the education that needs to go into it, the money that makes a farm works, and everything that goes with that exercise. Farming is a generational business. You only get it right with time. You cannot get on a farm and make it work in a year, let alone 10. There's a quote, I forget now, but it's by Ian Smith, the former Prime Minister of Rhodesia, that goes to something like, you don't inherit land from your ancestors, but you actually borrow it from your grandchildren. That means you are working it now in preparation for them to work it better. So I think, yes, land redistribution is important, but how it's done will be the big part of it, and the timing of it. At this point in 2017, not yet.
When the duality of you coming from Johannesburg,
yes.
Rapping,
yes.
and leaving that life and leaving that state of mind,
yes.
and coming to a more farmer's
yes.
state of mind,
yes.
how did you maneuver that? Like,
yes.
How did you navigate that for yourself? Because we know how much of the city can take over us, and
yes.
I would like for your personal journey, for people to know,
yes.
What were the sort of things that came to you that gave you the revelation of, yo, I need to go back and
yes.
be a man of the land? Like, what happened?
Yes. First of all, when I got into the rap game, I already had the AKA Mulimi, which is farmer. You know, and farmer was just not my name, was my job. That's why it's Mo Mulimi, Motlapele, they're Mulimi.
Sure, that means farmer.
Yes.
No doubt.
You see, so at the point, the brand would not make sense if I was farmer and staying in the city.
No doubt.
You know?
Yeah.
But also, I did one album staying in Joburg, my debut album. And immediately after the Summer Awards of 2008, I packed up my bags and left. In that June, I had a visit from Kabomo. We were staying in, I think, Honeydew.
Yeah.
And Kabomo says like, hey buddy, what's happening? I'm like, no, I'm packing, I'm leaving now. So where you going? I'm like, I know, I'm going back home, I'm going back to farm. So what? I'm like, no, I've achieved my goal here. So, and it's like, dude, who comes to Joburg and achieves this goal? And Joburg is the goal.
Sure.
You know, but the reality is, all the time I was in the city, I felt like a tractor. I think the point I'm trying to make is this is something that you have to be born into it.
How did you guys occupy this farm? Is it
Yeah.
a land distribution thing, or it's been in the family for years?
Those old people that I've been telling you about
Yes.
now were farmers working for white farmers.
Yes.
So my grandfather, my dad's dad, happened to work for this farmer, Yap Velkens, who was an MP during the National Party era.
Yes.
So he was always in Cape Town, and then my grandfather would be working the farm. So I don't know if you know the concept of sharecropping, where
No.
where
Hit me.
this a long time ago, this is how it used to work. You know, when firstly the white people moved inland, they would share crop with the blacks. That means they work the land together,
Yes.
and then they share the crop. So you know, after 1912, of course, all the land was transferred to the white people. But then there were still farmers like Jap Wilkins who were doing sharecropping, which was illegal, by the way. But then Pete and them, they could work the farm
Yeah.
and then share the crop with Bas when he comes back from Cape Town. So after 1940s or 50s, when the National Party came into power and apartheid was now legislative, now they started kicking them out of the farm. Oh, Bas was, I think he died or something, and then his children were taking over and they were more racist. So they were kicking them out, and they were in the Ventersdorp area. And you know, so all the black people were pushed to the reserves, which is this side. So they started moving more this way north, basically. And my uncle and my granddad, they moved over to Botswana. They were farming in Lobatse, and my dad was farming the Barolong area because it was still under the Cape Colony.
Yes.
It was not under Transvaal.
Okay.
So they were still farming those lands, and so we started farming for other people and so on. And then how we eventually end up here is that my father managed to lease the land from the Bophuthatswana government, which was a homeland. You know, these were former, they were occupied by white farmers before, you know. So all those farmers had to move out. Their land was what you call nationalized, or what is it, expropriated, but with compensation.
Okay.
So they were compensated, you know, and then it was given to black farmers. So all this area here, it's about 10,000 hectares. It's just farms divided like 400, 500 hectares between black farmers.
I see cattle.
Yes.
What are we walking in between now?
Here's a sunflower patch. It's still small. It's 60 hectares. It's my first year again doing sunflower, and I just wanted to do a trial. So this is what we have done. But
This is a trial?
yeah, this is the trial.
Damn.
All right. Okay. We have sandy soil. This is sandy soil. Sandy loam soils, between sand and loam soil.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good, but it drains easily. That
Yeah.
means even if it drains, it will dry quickly, but it's good for plants. So what you want to do is, if you're into crop, before you plant, you need to dig deep until you find the topsoil to know how deep the soil is.
Sure.
Because at some point the soil texture will change. And
And
that's
how do you know it's topsoil? Is it the wetter one?
No. You just have to dig a hole.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You need to just dig a hole and just keep digging deep. You will see the profile of the soil will change as you go deeper in. And then they will tell you the depth of the soil. That's how deep the roots will go before it stops.
Okay.
And then you need to take it to lab for them to check the nutrition of the acidity.
Yeah.
If it's acidic or alkaline.
Sure.
Because if it's acidic, it will affect the plant.
Yeah.
If it's alkaline, it will affect the plant. So it needs to be neutral.
Yeah.
So then the test results will tell you whether you should put a bit of lime, whether you should put a bit of phosphate to balance out the quality of the soil before you plant.
Is this growing well? It looks like it's growing pretty awesome.
This is a Panar 7033 cultivar.
Sure.
So before we plant it, they will do like 10 trials on it. So by the time we plant it, we don't want to know if it's doing well.
Yeah.
We have to just take it that, yes, it is doing well.
Sure.
If the conditions are good, it will be good. What we're just looking at is that if the plant is healthy, it's green. If the color changes and it becomes a bit yellow, then it lacks nitrogen. Then you need to do something. That's your problem. You need to put a bit of land on it so that you help it grow. The green helps with for it to take in the sun for chlorophyll, and then it grows quicker.
Okay.
And then you just have to look for damage if it has any like bugs or worms that are damaging the crop.
The damage, the holes here, is that?
No,
That's natural.
Yeah, this is not. This is okay. So the plant is healthy, and it just needs rain. And
Okay.
then it will do well.
All right then, brother. Let's go check out the other spots.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Here we go. We're looking at what we call Bakang Lake. It's actually a piece of lake that is standing here, right here. when you go to the middle there, you'll find standing water, so I will not try go there. And fish also stay, it's middle of the grass. So basically, as it stands, it's of no value to me right now. It's just grazing land, but with capital and money, we can actually turn this actual place into a real standing dam with valves and pump water into it and develop campsites and turn it into a country lodge. And also, if we have money to put up fencing, and then we can start getting game and wild animals, and then it's a game park. So half the farm will be for normal farming, half the farm will be for game farming, and a resort, maybe a conference center as well, which is profitable and can actually help make a living on a farm. So it's all a matter of serious capital and an investment for one to realize such a dream.
Suckers ba go bona matlong, never see them come up with them, ba blow my fella di joke, ba tshwana